Hamish, what did you learn on the Lions tour, and when do you think you'll actually put it into practice? When do you think your season start?
Well, I came into the club on Monday, and that was the first time I'd obviously been in for since before the Lions. So I'm due sort of a mini pre-season now, which I guess will be about 4 or 5 weeks till I'm up and running with the club. But yeah, and then that's hopefully when I'll play my first game since the Lions. So I'm looking forward to getting back into the club.
And what did you learn from the Lions?
I think a lot of things. I think playing with lots of different players and seeing how they operate, seeing how they go about their business. Coaching wise, in some respects, some stuff was quite similar because we had Gregor and Tandy, which was great to have the Scottish connection there. But I think just the general training and seeing how everyone ups their game. It's a very professional environment once you're on the training field. It's very chilled off it, but when you're on, you have to be zoned in, whether that's an hour session, hour and a half, or 30 minutes. I think to see how other people operate and switch in and out of rugby mode, I think that was quite interesting to see how switched on people were in training. And I think it's just a step up in level, I guess. You supposedly got the best players in the UK there and Ireland. And I think you can tell that in the training, there was definitely a step up in intensity and less errors and stuff like
that. Cheers, Hamish.
Hamish, speaking of a step up in level, how good is it that we'll have some of the best South African players in the URC this season?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great. Obviously, we got a bit of a taste of it in the Rainbow Cup. And over the last few years, we've had South African teams in it, but to have 4 of the best South African teams playing in the URC, I think it's great. I think it's going to be great for boys who have never played against South Africa outfits before to see how those sort of teams operate. But it's also going to be great for the fans to watch those games. And in the UK and Ireland, it looks like we're going to have, as long as COVID restrictions stay the same, it looks like we're going to have fans in stadiums, which is going to be awesome for the players. Some of the young boys, have never played in front of crowds, and I haven't played in front of a crowd for a year and a half or so, and I think that's great for the fans to be back and watching these South African teams. And it's a really exciting tournament.
Thank you.
Hamish, when you're talking about how you kind of cope with things off the field in South Africa, what was it like? I guess you were all in bubbles. Did you manage to switch off and kind of get any way of relaxing when you were over there?
Yeah, it was a weird environment in the respects that we were in bubbles, and but I mean we've been in that sort of situation. Obviously, at clubs we go home, but we've sort of been in that situation in the autumn internationals, the Six Nations. So it wasn't anything too new to us. I guess being in for 8 weeks was the difference. So it's a long old slog to be in a bubble, but the Lions made it as enjoyable as possible, and always had things going on within the bubble, and you were able to switch off. The hotel that we stayed in for the last 6 weeks had a golf course, a spa, and I think if anything, it made the boys a bit closer because we didn't really have cliques. Everyone was sort of together the whole time. And I think in that respect, it was really good. I think if you speak to some of the guys who have maybe been on previous tours, they probably definitely saw a difference and maybe thought it was a bit different. But for me and a lot of the other players who were on first tours, I think we still really enjoyed it and really really had a great time out there, even with the bubble.
Just a quick supplementary, if I can, for guys who were previously your kind of opponents, did you get to see a different side of them? Guys you maybe didn't know that well off the field before?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all the boys really other countries I didn't know at all, apart from playing against them and maybe the odd chat here and there after a game, or when you used to go up to the meals after games in the suites. But apart from that, I didn't really know any of them. So it was great to meet all those guys, learn from them on the field, but then off the field just meet some new blokes. And I think it was great. I think everyone got on really well. I think we all bonded really well, which was quite surprising. I think when you meet some of these people on the field, you think you may not get on well with them, but actually it was great. And after 8 weeks together, it's probably going to take a bit of getting used to when it comes around to Six Nations time. You're trying to batter each other again.
Cheers, Hamish.
Cheers.
Hamish, kind of follow up to Rob's question there, coming back to Edinburgh, having had that Lions experience, what can you, have you thought about what you can do to kind of, you know, help Edinburgh from having been through that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those things. I saw Mike on Monday, and we sort of spoke about a few things, and I think it's stuff you can bring to the table without actually deliberately doing anything. I hope that I'm a better player from the experience of a Lions tour, and I think it's a lot of attitude stuff that you can bring to training, and people can learn from that sort of stuff. Actually, out on the pitch, it's not like I'm going to be holding sessions and trying to do what the Lions did, but I think it's more little tweaks, work-ons, me being able to watch what other players do from other nations and see how they operate. I think that'll be interesting to be able to try and bring back into camp, and definitely for some of the younger players, hopefully I can try and help them out and try and help them develop.
Thanks. I've got another question if nobody else is.
Yeah. Follow up from anyone from Scotland, guys. Will be good time for it.
Sorry, Scottish guys. Hamish, I was just wondering, I just wanted to know your kind of take on, you know, your kind of mixed emotions after that Lions tour? You know, you played in the first, or you got in the first test, you didn't get another chance. You know, the result wasn't what you hopefully went out there for. You know, how have you coped with that, or how have you kind of compartmentalised that?
I mean, it was. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and be like I wasn't gutted at all, because then I wouldn't be. I think everyone has a desire to be starting and playing every week, and I'm not just going to settle for getting one test appearance. And I think I'd be lying if I said, "Oh no, I came back really happy." I was frustrated in the last 2 weeks, but I also can think without being talking myself up. I think I had a good year leading up to it. I had a good few years leading up to it, and I think I sort of did everything I could have done to try and gain a starting spot. So I don't have any. And sometimes coaches just go for different players, and that's just the way it is. A coach might like someone more than another person, or like what they bring more than someone else does. But for my own game, I feel like I did almost everything I could have done to put my best foot forward and hopefully try and get in the squad for the second and third week, and that wasn't the case. So I was gutted about it, but I also don't have any regrets thinking, oh, if only I'd done this, or if only I'd done that. And just sometimes coaches go with different players, and that's the way it is.
Did Garland ever say to you if the yellow card made a difference to his decision to not include you in the second test?
What yellow card?
The non-yellow card, I think he means.
Oh, sorry, the non-yellow card. Yeah, sorry. Did he bring that up at all?
Only in jest, like only a bit of a joke after the game. We had a bit of a smile and a laugh, and that was probably the last time I spoke to him, to be honest. But I don't think it had any bearing on the selection in the second and third game. You know, these things happen. At the end of the day, it was only a penalty. There was lots of other calls like that in the game, where boys weren't banished or not picked again for having errors or giving away penalties or discipline errors. So I don't think that had a bearing on it at all, to be honest.
Okay, cheers.
And are you missing your mane of hair, Hamish? You're looking very well.
Sorry?
You're looking very well groomed now. Are you missing your kind of rugged mane of hair?
I know, it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's going to take some getting used to, but you know, all good things come to an end, and I think it was time to say goodbye to that chapter. I do miss it slightly, but I know my wife doesn't. So, and I look a bit more. When I'm on the field, it's great having a mullet, but you know, I look a bit more representable off it, I guess.
Hamish, I take it it's good for you guys, well, you in particular, that it's now a season whereby there's no crossover. I.e., you go away with Scotland, you miss nothing, you come back, you play for Edinburgh. Is that something you will enjoy?
Yeah, I think it's great for the tournament. I think it's good. I mean, every game the fans are watching now, as obviously apart from if there's injuries, we should be getting the internationals and the players onto the field. So I think that's great for everyone. It means for boys going away in Scotland camp, it means you don't miss any Edinburgh games, whereas in the past you might end up playing, I don't know, 10 games for Scotland and only 15 for Edinburgh, or 10 games for Scotland and only 10 for Edinburgh like last season. And I think that's a good thing. At the end of the day, you want to be playing for your club and helping your club perform to the best, hopefully help the club perform and try and chase trophies. And I think if we can get our internationals on the field, obviously that will help. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing for the group.
Hi, Hamish.
Thanks,
Just a question here from Cape Town, South Africa. Obviously, you guys will be playing in front of crowds overseas, but there's the big possibility of coming to play into empty stadiums. How will you guys factor that when you travel down to South Africa again?
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit weird. It'll be weird going from crowds in the UK and Ireland, then going to South Africa and possibly not having crowds again. But like I say, it's actually something the players are pretty used to now. Over the last 18 months, we've been playing without crowds, and I think players have got used to that, and they sort of know how to deal with that, environment in the same way that before probably going to South Africa would be a very hostile environment with the sort of crowds you guys get over there. So I think you have to deal with it in different ways, but it's something all the players are sort of used to now, and hopefully come the season after there will be full crowds back in South Africa, and then we're going to have to deal with that challenge as well.
So, Stephen, Leighton, anyone else from outside Scotland got any other questions for Hamish?
Yeah, just thanks, Adam. Just one more year from me. Having played against some of the provincial teams and then some of the Springbok Stars as well, who do you think will provide the stiffest competition? If you look across the South African domestic scene, the Bulls were by far the top team. But who do you think, in your opinion, will be that competition for you guys?
I think it's tough because when you're playing for the Lions against the provincial teams and the club teams, it's tough to really say because you've got 37 international players playing against the club teams, and also the club teams didn't have the South African internationals that they would have when we're going to play them for Edinburgh and stuff. So it's very tough to say how it will go and how the South African teams will go in this championship. But I was impressed with the South Africa club teams. I think they bring a lot of what the national team brings. They're physical, they're hard to break down, they're big boys, and I think they'll go well in the championship. And to answer your question, who's going to be the stiffest competition or the toughest competition? I mean, the Bulls did obviously well in the Rainbow Cup and got to the final. But I was impressed. I was impressed with the Stormers as well. I actually thought they were a good team as well. But I think they'll all be real tough opponents, especially with their internationals as well.